After getting your BFA in glass and ceramics, you did some wandering around. Can you tell me
Oh
about
yeah.
this?
I was like so burnt out on art after the end of art school. Like I was the kind of student that I was like living in the art building all the time, like just too much art, like so much art in art school. And by the time I was done, I was like sick of it. I wanted to just not go into a museum or think about art or anything for a while. So I did some long term meditation things. I worked at the Omega Institute, which is where I met my husband, and that's in upstate New York. So lived there. I lived in New York City for a year actually before that. I kind of like bounced around. So I was in New York City. I did these meditation things, went to the Omega Institute, and then from there we decided to go to Costa Rica, where I became a yoga teacher. And we lived there for a year. We were going to just go do this 1 month thing for a yoga teacher program, and we stayed for a year. And we were with my sister-in-law, who now my sister-in-law. They stayed for like 3 years. It was like the kind of place that like sucked people in. And so we were in Costa Rica and just traveled and stuff a lot for a while, and then went and moved to Denver, where we lived for about 7 years. So sort of between college and Denver, just meandered around quite a bit.
So, what brought you back into pottery?
So then when we moved to Denver, I feel like I had kind of gotten out of my system, the like doing other things, the yoga and stuff. I became a yoga teacher. And when I got to Denver, I was full-time yoga teaching. But I feel like when I was on my like break from art, I still was always finding little ways to make things. And I was like thinking about pottery a lot and thinking about making things. But because I was like moving so frequently, I couldn't really like make anything more substantial. It was usually like drawing or sewing curtains or making clothes or, little things like that I could do easily. And then when we got to Denver, I knew I wanted to like find a studio space to rent and get back into it. So I found a place in Denver, the Arvada Ceramics Art Skills, just outside of Denver, and joined there so that I could like start to get my hands back into clay. And that was like 2010. So I graduated in 2008, and then 2010 got back into clay.
I love that. Shaping Nation, if you want to take a break from making art or pottery, you can go do that and you can
Mhm.
come back to it later. It doesn't have to be a constant process. I love that so much.
And I think like some of that stuff informs me now. I mean, I got more interested in other things. I mean, sometimes I think, yeah, it would have been great to just go straight into some sort of residency, and maybe my pottery it would definitely be different. I'm glad I needed a little break. So I was really glad that I gave it to myself.